Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good day. It's good to see everybody. Day 5 of some Planescape tournament. Yeah, we're in the mix of it. I don't know. I'm not sure how we're going to play this yet. As far as we'll probably end up running Planescape into maybe the weekend and in the next week a little bit. I don't know exactly how. We might play a little bit of Raft, a little bit of Planescape this weekend. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But we're not, I think, as close to being finished with it as I had kind of planned. So I don't know. We'll keep pushing until we get there, and then we'll start Witcher 3. That's the plan. As soon as we finish Planescape, we'll get into Witcher 3. But I don't know. Keep doing what we do. I'm enjoying the game. It's really good. It's really nice. So I don't know. On that note, let's do what we do. Let's get over here and get into this video gaming news segment. Cool. Hope everybody's day is going very well. It's good to see everybody. Let's go. See what we can find. They've really been doing some stuff to the Edge browser recently for Xbox's cloud gaming. We already knew they incorporated, what do they call it? I can't remember now. They'll probably say in here. Edge gets new Xbox and PC gaming performance features. Let's see if this is the same thing we've already read about. I'm not sure. Microsoft released a quick check to see whether your PC is ready for direct storage. That's cool. I still don't know how many people are actually going to be. Yo, yo. What's up, gamer? How are you, buddy? Ready for the weekend, man? I still don't know if this is necessarily going to entice very many people to switch over to Edge as their browser to game on, because what I would assume is that other browsers will follow suit fairly quickly by figuring out how to incorporate these kinds of technology within their own browsers as well. Read about that yesterday. That's cool. Yeah, we read about this recently too, and that's really neat. I'm not going to dive into this. Hardware as a whole for gaming is getting cheaper or getting back to MSRP, which is really good, which means that you're also going to see pre-built PCs and things of that nature start to decrease in price a little bit. There's a lot of sales happening right now. Okay. After the news segment, we'll take a look at everything that's on Steam. Right now, they've got 20 games worth your money in Nintendo's big old super sale. We'll take a look at that real quick. We'll take a quick glance. The near impossible No Man's Sky Switch port coming October 7th. Quick glance at that. How machine learning AI is going to change gaming forever. We played a game with an amount of that last October, which was Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation incorporates machine learning AI into the game, in that the xenomorph will actually remember the paths you've taken and the places that you've hid previously in your attempts to circumvent the xenomorph, to get away from it and things like that. It will remember that stuff to get you to try different routes. different hiding spots. It's pretty wild. Yeah, we'll take a quick look here. Steam sale drops hit games to under $5. Highly rated Steam game now free to keep for a very limited time. Take a look there. That is going to get way too political. I'm not going to dive into that. Yeah, the same thing about the Edge. All kinds of Edge browser stuff from Microsoft this morning. We've already got it pulled up. We're going to cover it. Okay, we'll take a quick. Oh God, I really don't want to look at this through CNBC though, so I'm not going to look at this through CNBC. Yep, we've talked about it. Bungie slaps YouTube takedown impersonator with 7.6 million lawsuit, I think. Wowzers. Okay. We looked at the PlayStation Store sell stuff yesterday, so I'm not going to jump back into that. If you're interested, take a look at yesterday's news segment. Into the Breach is getting a free Advanced Edition expansion. Sick. Gamer for life. That's what we are, baby. Mm-hmm. Mouse keyboard support for Xbox Cloud. We've read about it already. That's great. GTA 6 may not be the next Grand Theft Auto release. What? Okay. Let's pivot. Let's get into video gaming news. Our other search. Goodbye, Zachtronics. Developers of very cool video game ellipses. Let's see what that's about. Talked about that already. This was a really cool article we hit on about 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Canceled Scarface video game resurfaces and leaked. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, we hit on the shortage of Xbox controllers yesterday morning. Oh, hey, gamer. This was what made me think of you yesterday morning, buddy. Thank you, PS Plus, for making my backlog even bigger. I immediately went, dude, gamer wrote that. That's the one I was talking about yesterday. Letter to the editor. Video games don't cause gun violence. We've talked about this so much. I'm not going to dive into this, but man, I find it absolutely absurd and asinine that so many outlets, agencies, people are still trying to use video games as a scapegoat for all different forms of violence in the world, and big time here in the U.S. as well. It's crazy. Chinese video game revenue falls in May, a third month amid slowing economy and less player spending. Yeah, it's not just Chinese markets for gaming. Excuse me. It's across the board. From like last year, the beginning of 2021 throughout current time, profit for gaming has dipped about gradually up to relatively negative 20%. Gaming is still very profitable. It just means that how much money had been made across video gaming as a whole, roughly at the beginning of 2021 up till now, it has dipped, right? We've read about it. We've already read about Sony skipping Gamescom this year. Next page. Netflix is adding a acclaimed sci-fi game in July. Take a quick look. I'm not going to dive into this because this is just like a recap of a lot of stuff we've already hit on. It's like the biggest gaming news for these days, stuff like that. We've done this, man. And this was on June 13th, by the way, as well. So what is this? Steam Deck game performance very good for good news for Chromebooks in the future. Basically, just saying that, and they're right. The Steam Deck has actually shown that you don't need an actual like high powered gaming PC to run most Steam games at a decent level or a playable level anyway. So, like, that's what a lot of other companies are looking at how well Valve has done with this handheld and seeing what they can do to turn it into something for their own benefit. Last page. I think we've talked enough about Sonic right now. I'm not going to dive into this today, and we've got enough articles up right now. Minecraft's new update can ban players from online play. All right. We've already got No Man's Sky Switch release article up. Nintendo Insider gives a new update on rumored Donkey Kong game. We've talked about this already as well. I'm waiting for this junior driver to be fired instead of just suspended once their investigation ends for a racial slur being used during a live stream. Talk about this, talk about this, talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. Yeah, we've talked about like all of these. Okay, let's hop in it. Here's what I'm going to say. I know that the news articles have, or the news segments have gotten kind of long. Again, the news is important, right? News is important to me. I think it's important to other members of our community, whether it be if you're here live or watching these as VODs. I think it's important for a lot of people. I definitely am not trying to drag these segments out, okay? And I'm making an effort to try to see what I can do about really knocking some of the time out of these segments to the greatest extent possible, okay? So I'm trying to see what I can do about being better in skimming some of these articles, not reading absolutely everything within, especially things that aren't necessarily going to be super pertinent to getting the gist of what these articles have to relay as far as important information to us, okay? Things of that nature. Now, with that being said, the more people we have hanging out for the news articles, the more discussion we get going. It's kind of, it's important for me that we address that live when we have people and they bring up good questions and chat, the community, everybody hanging out. We get good questions, good discussion going on. That's going to take time, obviously, right? But to the greatest extent possible, I'm going to try to do a better job about really being as concise and TLDR with skimming and giving you the best information I can as quickly as possible from these articles, okay? To try to limit the amount of time we spend in the news segment. Just understand that to an extent there's the possibility that some of these news segments, video game news segments, will still be long sometimes, okay? Minecraft's new update can ban players from online play. A new Minecraft update can ban players from online play. Minecraft is one of the most beloved games out there. It spawned such an incredible legacy, both with the base game and its many spin-offs and multimedia projects. In the patch notes for the Minecraft 1.19.1 pre-release, it was revealed that players can now be outright banned from online play after being reported. The reports will be reviewed by some form of moderation team, so someone likely can't be mass reported. Someone can't be mass reported and banned with ease. This is in addition to the already implemented feature that allows players to report players for inappropriate chat behavior. Doesn't sound like all bans will be permanent or possibly any at all, because the patch notes also mention that the player will get a message that tells them how long they've been banned for and what the ban was for. Just because it tells them how long the ban was for doesn't mean that they can't be told that the ban is indefinite. You can read the notes about the new banning system below. Along with support for reporting chat, reported players can now be banned from online play and realms after moderator review. The game will show a notice screen on startup if you've been banned from online play. The reason for the ban is shown, as well as how long the ban is valid for. This is a pretty significant inclusion to Minecraft, and one that will likely keep players in line and prevent them from being obnoxious to other fans of the game. With that said, it seems like Minecraft may become a safer space for those looking for a fun online space. The game has been out for more than a decade, so it's a bit surprising to see this kind of moderation being added in this late. But better late than never. Agreed on both counts. Especially considering so many kids love this game, right? You would like to see a game like this that, not that it's necessarily aimed at kids per se, but it definitely has piqued the interest of a younger audience. Not that there aren't a ton of adults that love this game as well, but a decade before they got anything like this incorporated feels bad. But I guess, again, better late than never, but that's a long time. There it is. Nintendo Insider gives new update on rumored Donkey Kong Switch game. A notable insider has provided a new update about the Japanese video game developer's next Donkey Kong project. Yeah, we've heard about some different rumors over about the past year. According to a new report from a credible insider that goes by the name Zippo, Nintendo has actually finished working on this new Donkey Kong title in question. This might sound odd to hear, given that Nintendo has yet to even announce a new game associated with the beloved ape, but this is something that we have seen in the past with Nintendo as well. For one reason or another, Nintendo often finishes games far in advance of actually revealing them to the public, let alone releasing them. This report from Zippo goes on to say that it's uncertain where Nintendo would end up formally announcing this game. One such possibility in regard to this new Donkey Kong game getting unveiled would be at an upcoming Nintendo Direct. In recent weeks, rumors have continued to grow, claiming that Nintendo will hold a new Direct next week, potentially on June 29th. If so, we'll probably try to watch it depending on when it airs. Well, we'll watch it either live or after the fact. At this point in time, there's been a new mainline Donkey Kong game for nearly a decade. Hasn't been. The last entry associated with DK was that of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which first launched on Wii U in 2014. Nintendo later ported the game and brought it to Switch in 2018. Since that time, though, Donkey Kong hasn't had a new game of his own to star in. All right, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll see some news about it coming up pretty soon. Microsoft Edge gets new Xbox and PC gaming performance features. Xbox Cloud Gaming gets a clarity boost feature. Alongside a new gaming-focused homepage and casual games integration, Edge is also getting a clarity boost to improve Xbox Cloud gaming streams and an efficiency mode to prevent Edge from taking PC resources when a game is being played. The new efficiency mode is the most interesting addition for PC gamers. Both Windows 10 and 11 users will be able to benefit from enabling this efficiency mode in Edge. It will stop the browser from taking resources when a game is opened. With this feature, you do not need to close the browser to play and reopen it when you are done. As soon as you close the game, Edge will exit efficiency mode and get you right back to where you left off. That's cool. Microsoft is also adding a clarity boost feature to Xbox Cloud Gaming. It's a spatial upscaling feature designed to make Xbox streamed games much clearer and sharper. We read about that. They've been testing this feature over the past 6 months, and the improvement is noticeable thanks to a bunch of client-side scaling improvements that will boost the visual quality of Xbox Cloud Gaming. Microsoft has also created a gaming homepage for Edge, which includes gaming news, live streams, Xbox content, and quick access to Xbox Cloud Gaming. Even a new games menu inside Edge that includes free-to-play casual and arcade games like Microsoft Solitaire. All right, man. Trying to improve their browser. It has been like the least liked browser for ever. It seems like, anyways, for most people. Microsoft's released a quick check to see whether your PC is ready for direct storage and next-gen gaming. Yeah, so if you're not aware, direct storage is the new tech being released by Microsoft. God, what is the name of that game that got delayed by, that is the first PC game that will be utilizing it? Coming out in October now? Yeah, this one. You can check to see if your system is ready for direct storage right now thanks to a new preview of the Microsoft Game Bar feature in Windows 11. The Gaming Features tab in the Settings menu will tell you whether your system is ready for DirectX 12 Ultimate. Allow you to enable HDR and Auto HDR without diving into the myriad Windows setting screens, and now shows which parts of your system are and aren't ready for the next-gen direct storage features. It feels like we've been banging on about direct storage for an age, without there actually being anything to show for it. But that doesn't stop us from being genuinely excited about a new feature that will actually make the most of the speedy solid-state drives we've been jamming into our systems for years. Oh, man. You can check for yourself how ready your system is for the new feature using an insider preview build of Windows Game Bar. You don't need to switch your whole Windows installation around to a potentially flaky dev build, but you will need to enable insider access on a Microsoft account. Then you will need to download the Xbox Insider Hub from the Windows Store. Once that's installed, you click on the preview tab, select Windows Gaming Preview. Once you're signed up for that, you can then go back into the library page of the store and click Get Updates. That will update the Xbox Game Bar app, and you're good to go. Why are people excited about it? Games have historically not really benefited from advanced storage options such as NVMe solid-state drives. And that's largely because there are still a lot of systems rocking old-school hard drives. And developers were busy catering to the lowest common denominator, right? In recent times, that meant catering to the console crowd. But with Xbox Series XS and PS5 machines now using NVMe storage as standard, there's an impetus to actually make use of such a speedy medium for their potential gaming benefits. What are those? As well as offering fast load levels, it will enable seamless game worlds with assets and assorted game data being streamed in the background while you're playing. And this is possible because direct storage frees up a ton of CPU resources by allowing the GPU to talk to your solid-state drive, right? So it basically cuts out the middleman there, is what it does hardware-wise. So instead of the CPU having to kind of be the middleman between data traveling between your storage and your GPU, it no longer needs to do that. Your GPU can just talk directly, access data directly with your storage, right? And so that's really what happens. What is this? I can't remember the name of this game right now. Forspoken. Forspoken is on its way in October. This is going to be the first PC game to come out that utilizes direct storage. Okay, so we'll see. There's going to be all kinds of testing with it. We'll find out. 20 Switch games worth buying in the latest sale. So Nintendo's hosting a group of sales for the Nintendo Switch, which it's calling the Big Ol' Super Sale. Big Ol' Super Sale. The grouping is now live, and all the sales end on July 7th at 3 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Most of the sales are about 30% off, which is actually quite good for Nintendo-developed titles like Mario Odyssey and Mario Maker 2. Here are 20 Nintendo Switch games worth picking up before the Big Ol' Super Sale is over. Mario Odyssey, Link's Awakening, Mario Maker 2, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Monster Hunter Rise, Pikmin 3, Persona 5, Tetris Effect Connected, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Death's Door, Ruined King, Cadence of Hyrule, Loop Hero, Unpacking, Hades. Loop Hero, great. Hades, great. I've heard good things about Unpacking, too. Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Rayman Legends Definitive Edition, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, and Boomerang X. I'll throw this in chat real quick. If you're interested, there's some decent sales there coming from Nintendo. I'm guessing this is just listing 20 that they picked out that were worth buying to them. I think there's probably a lot more on sale right now during this Big Ol' Super Sale Nintendo's doing. So if you're interested in getting some new Switch games, probably just go check out their site and see what you can find, okay? You might find something that you want. Near Impossible No Man's Sky Switch port coming October 7th. Hello Games is bringing massive spacefaring sim No Man's Sky and most of its updates from the past 6 years to Switch on October 7th. A physical edition of the complete remastered PS5 version is also planned for the same day. Folks who pick up No Man's Sky on Switch will be able to experience all the content through the game's Prisms update from June 2021 If the rapid montage of logos in today's trailer is anything to go by, Hello Games has released 3 additional updates, Frontiers, Sentinel, and Outlaws since then. Here's a quick breakdown of the major updates and content No Man's Sky players on Switch can look forward to. Foundation, Pathfinder, Atlas Rises Next, The Abyss, Visions, Beyond, Synthesis, Living Ship, Exomech, Desolation, Origins, Next Gen, Companions, Expeditions, and Prisms. While the work Hello Games has put into No Man's Sky over the past several years is impressive, getting the game running on Switch is a new level of awe-inspiring. Stay tuned. Now, here's the deal. Understand this. Yes, all the work they've put into No Man's Sky over the past several years is impressive. But it was also needed. Because this game released in a horrible state. It is actually one of the more modern examples of an absolute dumpster fire of a release. As far as being a buggy mess and not even coming anywhere close to what was promised to be delivered to the gaming community as far as content upon the game's release. Now, yes, kudos to the developers because they worked their butts off. I don't think hardly any of the additional DLC that came out for the game actually was paid for DLC. Was it? Let me look at Steam real quick. Hush your mouth. Where is the Yeah, it doesn't even list DLC, right? I think that's because all the DLC actually comes with it. They don't even list DLC, I don't think. Whoa! My bad. Because it's just always part of the game. It's just added in as part of the game, I'm pretty sure. So, again, while the game was an absolute just abysmal thing to watch on release and experience on release, they have actually done it justice. The devs were committed. I think they were really, really upset with the way it was pushed out, and they were trying to hit dates, and so much got promised that couldn't be delivered on, and they wanted to really follow through and be proud of what this game could be. And I think they've done a good job. It still feels bad that what happened, right? Initially. But they've done a great job after the fact. And cool, man, it's coming to Switch. I'm guessing this is going to be an absolutely amazing game for handheld, right? Whether it be on Switch or, the Steam Deck, what have you. But it's cool it's coming to Switch as well. That's great. That's great. How machine learning AI is going to change gaming forever? For Microsoft and Xbox, the sky will no longer be the limit. Services like Cryon that automatically generate rough AI images based on virtually any input prompt from have produced a range of wild and wacky collages across the net, which you can peruse yourself over on subreddits like Weird Dally or Twitter accounts like Dally2Pics. Chatbots and weird AI-generated art are widely known, but what's perhaps more shocking is this more recent wave of sophistication, how it's already making its way into the general public's consciousness. How deep learning AI will change gaming forever. Machine learning techniques have broad implications for almost every sector of life, but how they will intersect across gaming has potentially some of the broadest implications for Microsoft as a business. One problem the video game industry generally faces right now pertains to the gap between expectations and investment. Video games are becoming increasingly complex to make, fund, and manage as they explode in exponential complexity and graphical fidelity. We've seen absolutely insane Unreal Engine demos from the new UE5 engine that showcase near photorealistic scenes and graphics, but the manual labor involved to produce a full game based on some of these principles is truly palpable both in terms of time and expense. Yeah. What is typically thought of as AI in a gaming context generally hasn't been AI in the true sense of the word. Video game non-player characters and enemies generally operate on a rules-based model that often has to be manually crafted by a programmer. Yes. Machine learning models are importantly far more fluid, able to produce their own rules within parameters and respond dynamically to new information on the fly. This applies across all things, whether it's NPC behavior or content generation. Taking context from the internet, the GPT-3ML AI model was able to produce a practically infinite quest dialogue, drawing down from information about World of Warcraft on websites and wiki entries to produce scarily. Pinky, what's up? Yeah, just I know you're about this AI stuff. Just a second, let me finish this and I'll read what you put in chat. What's up, buddy? How are you today? Drawing from information about World of Warcraft on websites and wiki entries to produce scarily realistic objectives that included real place names and enemy types with direct access to more refined data and tailor-made context by a game developer. It's not hard to extrapolate how these models could be adapted to produce vast arrays of dynamic content. DALL-E and similar models are increasingly capable of producing an array of variants from any prompt, refining them with extraordinary levels of detail. Can also produce remixes of existing images. It's easy to imagine how that can be extended to variations of monsters in games, or even variations of in-game behavior and animations. Imagine the next generation of Minecraft's world seed generation tools using machine learning to include game rules, generate unique monsters, and new terrain. They could extend and improve tile-based procedurally generated levels in games like Diablo or Hades. They could generate supplementary quests for in-game play in MMO-type games like World of Warcraft or Fallout 70. Really? That's what you go to for an MMO-type game? You go for Fallout 76? Okay. Machine learning algorithms will supplement the construction and animation of creatures, level assets, and characters at a speed and scale that simply isn't possible when you factor in labor costs. These systems won't and shouldn't replace real-life developers and artists, but should instead supplement alacrity in time-intensive work that can increase costs, lead to delays, and create pressure within a collaborative workflow. If you can have an AI handle the animation and behavior model of a simplistic background entity like a rat or a snake that is there purely for ambience, that could free up dev time for more nuanced or complex tasks that have a greater impact on a player's experience, for sure. Microsoft already poised to be a front runner. I'm not going to dive all the way into that. Could be as big as the leap from 2D to 3D. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of work on the AI front already. I'm not going to read the rest of that for the sake of trying to be save time on the news segment and everything. But there's probably a lot of really good. I think that really kind of sums up what this article's about. But there's a lot more information about what Microsoft's doing in regards to the AI learning and generation, and what this actually means as far as a technology advancement here. So technological advancement. So take a look. It's in there in chat. Pinky, what's up, dude? I'm aware of that. Yep, I'm aware of that. Mm-hmm. It's actually really, really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yep. Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. Which our world, you know, that would be something incredibly useful for our world, yeah. With how much plastic trash there is, and it doesn't degrade, man. Traditional plastic, anyways. Yep, that's really cool. Um, the massive Steam sale. You know what? I'm gonna read the Steam stuff last because we're right after the news section. Before we hop into our gameplay, I'm gonna bring up Steam and we'll take a look at some of the games and stuff that are on sale. Okay. Bungie slaps YouTube takedown impersonator with 7.6 million lawsuit. Uh, and I mean, no, it's not necessarily gaming news, but it is definitely tech news, and we dive into tech news just as much as we do video game because technology and video games, they're very, uh, they go hand in hand. They're interrelated. So it works, dude. It works. The developer claims Nicholas Lord Nazo Minor retaliated after having his Destiny OSTs taken down. We read about this a little bit before, I think. Back in March, a wave of bizarre copyright strikes rocked the Destiny 2 community. Not only did it affect some of the game's biggest content creators, but also videos on Bungie's own YouTube channel. Turned out none of them had actually come from the developer, but a bad actor impersonating two employees from the CSC, Bungie's IP protection agency of choice. Now that person has allegedly been identified, and Bungie suing them for a whopping $7.6 million. Nicholas Lord Nazo Minor is accused of fraudulently firing off 96 separate DMCA takedown notices throughout mid-March. According to the lawsuit, Minor was issued legitimate copyright strikes in both December 2021 and March 2022 for uploading the OST for Destiny's The Taken King and The Witch Queen expansions. During that period, Minor is said to have created two separate email addresses impersonating CSC employees. He then used those email addresses to issue the false takedown notices. Lawsuit goes on to say that during the whole kerfuffle, Minor was, quote, taking part in the community discussion of Bungie's takedowns, spreading disinformation, as well as trying to file a counterclaim with YouTube saying the legitimate takedowns on his channel were included in the wave of fraudulent ones. Bungie claims that the situation caused significant reputational and economic damage, with the publisher having to devote significant internal resources to addressing it and helping its players restore their videos and channels. Claims it's entitled to damages and injunctive relief, including enhanced statutory damages of $150,000 for each of the works implicated in the fraudulent takedown notice that willfully infringed Bungie's registered copyrights, totaling $7,650,000 US dollars. We've recently seen big gaming corporations starting to win these sorts of suits, like Nintendo's case against hacker Gary Bowser. I mean, is that not just like the most ironic? Nintendo taking down somebody with the last name Bowser. This almost seems like a content ploy or something. You know what I mean? Where the court made something of an example of the guy, so it'll be interesting to see which direction this one goes in. Was he a big, dinosaur-esque shell with spikes? You know what I mean? That's just wild. Yep. Yeah, I mean, these companies are, whenever stuff like this happens, they're going to make examples of people so it doesn't happen again, right? And that's what's happening right here. Wild, man. Into the Breach is getting a free Advanced Edition expansion. Check this out. Coming in July, Into the Breach Advanced Edition will also finally bring the game to mobile devices. Into the Breach is a turn-based tactics game about mechs and bugs developed by Subset Games, the makers of the outstanding sci-fi adventure sim FTL, Faster Than Light. It's even more outstanding, we said Into the Breach delivers the most perfect form tactics experience in our 93% review, and then selected it as our ultimate game of the year for 2018. Yeah, it's highly rated. A lot of people love this game. On July 19th, it will get even better with the release of Into the Breach Advanced Edition, which will expand the original game with 5 new mech squads and nearly 40 new weapons, additional enemies, bosses, and mission objectives, and new pilots and pilot abilities. The Advanced Edition will also feature a new unfair difficulty mode, support for 7 additional languages: Arabic, Thai, Swedish, Korean, traditional Chinese, Turkish, and Spanish, and 2 new tracks from composer Ben Prunty. Even better than all that, the Advanced Edition will be available as a free update for owners of the original Into the Breach. That is awesome. Which, by the way, is on sale for $10 in the current Steam Summer Sale, which got underway today. The Advanced Edition will also see Into the Breach finally released for Android and iOS devices. The mobile version of the game will have a revamped interface to ensure an excellent experience on a smaller touch devices like phones, but will otherwise be identical to Into the Breach Advanced Edition on other platforms. Interestingly, it will be available exclusively to Netflix subscribers through the Netflix game service. Really? Wow. Okay. It's a generous move by Subset and one the studio has made previously. In 2014, a couple of years after the launch of Faster Than Light Advanced Edition expansion, also free for owners, added a new race, ships, weapons, subsystems, in-game events, and more. The net result was the definitive edition of an already excellent strategy game. Hopefully, we can look forward to more of the same from Into the Breach. That's great, man. You love seeing this stuff from devs. I was not expecting the Advanced Edition to be on Netflix. But there you go. So going to mobile, the Advanced Edition free update for owners of the original. That's great, man. Really cool. So there you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. GTA 6 may not be the next Grand Theft Auto release. After years and years of waiting, GTA 6 may finally release next year or in 2024. Yeah, I would say probably don't hold your breath for next year. Honestly, probably 2024. A new rumor suggests the next release from the series will not be the next proper installment, but another remaster. Yeah, last year we saw the release of the collection of remasters for San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3, which had some issues. Yeah, slammed for its poor quality, but still sold very well, because that's what devs do, right? They just lean on these titles. Don't worry about quality. Okay, so GTA 4 is getting its own remaster. Rumor, this is not official. Oh, there it is, gamer. We were just talking about it yesterday, huh? There you go, dude. Easy, right? The rumor comes the way of Xfire, who claims that a remaster of the fourth mainline installment in the series is in the works. Not much else is divulged, but it is noted it will be contained in a bundle with two other GTA games. Unclear what these two other games could be, other than perhaps the game's two single-player expansions. If this were the case, though, you'd think the language we used would be expansions and not games. All of that said, take everything here with a grain of salt. While there's an increasing amount of rumors claiming a Rockstar is doing something with GTA 4, they are just rumors at this point. So nothing official, but potential GTA 4 remaster there coming. Goodbye, Zachtronics, developers of very cool video games. The team behind games like Eliza are closing shop on their own terms. On July 5th, Zachtronics will be releasing Last Call BBS, a collection of stylish little puzzle games wrapped up in a retro PC gaming vibe. After 11 years in business and even longer outside of commercial releases, a time which has seen the studio develop a cult following almost unrivaled in indie gaming, it will be the last new game Zachtronics will ever release. Named for founder Zach Barth, Zachtronics has spent most of those 11 years specializing in puzzle games. Pretty much every single one of them has been great, or at least interesting. Come through our own archive looking for Zachtronic games and you'll find, I'll throw this in chat so you guys can look at these. Despite the repeated excellence and deeply loyal fan base, Zachtronics never became what we'd call, even in this enthusiastic space, a household name, which is fine and even by design. Barth, Matthew Burns, and their small team, usually around just 5 people in total, have simply been very good at doing what they loved, regardless of how popular it was, and so have just kept on doing it. The result has been a succession of games that may not have been to everyone's taste, but for those with whom it resonated, it was their stuff. Most of their games involve challenging puzzles, also deeply cool and interesting presentation surrounding them. It's sad, but also awesome in its own way that 2022 will see the end of Zachtronics, not because their publisher shuttered them, or because their venture capital funding ran out, or because Activision made them work on Call of Duty, or any other number of reasons that game developers usually close their doors. Zachtronics is closing because they want to. We're wrapping things up, Barth tells me, way more enthusiastically than you would normally expect under these circumstances. Quote, Zachtronics will release Last Call BBS next month. We're also working on the long-awaited Solitaire collection that we're hoping to have out by the end of the year. After that, the team will disband. We all have different ideas, interests, tolerances for risk, and so on. So we're still figuring out what we want to do next. The studio's final game, the appropriately titled Last Call BBS, was recently announced. If you had been scanning the reaction to its debut trailer online, you'd have seen that alongside the usual excitement, there was also a great deal of sadness, something that the team have been in the rare position of being able to acknowledge ahead of their closure. With the decision made and announced, then what comes next? For Barth, he's hoping to work on something else, while other members of the team are likewise looking to try their hands at new challenges. His original plan was to wrap things up at Zachtronics, then find a new job teaching high school computer science. But the timing was off. He said, just finished my first year of teaching, and Last Call BBS hasn't even been released yet. I was hoping that I'd really like teaching and stay with that for a few years, but I learned that's definitely not the case, and I'm having a hard time imagining anything other than games in my future, in some shape or form. What we do as individuals or collaborators is a question we are very actively discussing right now. I'm particularly interested in freelancing and weird side projects, while other members of the team are drawn to the idea of stable job with more growth potential than a small indie studio that makes what's essentially the same game every year. Last Call BBS will be out on July 5th on Steam and will be the studio's last new game. You can check out its very cool trailer below. Their official final release, however, will be a bundle collecting their various solitaire games into a single pack, and as mentioned above, that'll be out later this year. Here you go. If you're interested, take a look. There's everything about Last Call BBS and Zachtronics in particular. Let's watch this real quick. I'm gonna keep the audio off for right now. I don't like to watch a lot of trailers during the news segment because of the upload to YouTube, but we'll see what this is about real quick. Oh, this looks cool. Yeah, this looks pretty neat. Nice little puzzle game, man. Cool. That looks pretty cool. If you're into puzzle games, might be worth checking out. Again, July 5th, I think, on Steam, yeah? So, keep that in mind. It's right there in chat. Canceled Scarface game resurfaces in leaked footage. Pull that back over to the left. That way it's easy for you guys to see. Scarface The World Is Yours is a 2006 adaptation of the 83 gangster film released for PS2, Xbox, and PC. The game was one of many trying to capitalize on a wave of open world crime games brought about by mega hits like original Mafia and GTA 3. Yeah. New footage of a canceled sequel popped up online, giving curious gamers a closer look at what a second gaming adventure for Tony Montana might have looked like. Dubbed Scarface Empire, the new game would have seen Montana flee Miami and set up shop in Vegas, reportedly establishing his new constructed casino while running a drug business in the back, taking out mafia enforcers encroaching on his turf. Radical Entertainment was reportedly deep in production on the second game, but the development came to a halt when the company became part of Activision. According to Mafia Game Video source, the publisher had too many open world games. Yo, Fat Pat, what's up, buddy? In development at the time and didn't see a future in the Scarface series. That's right, dude. We got it. Outside of some special crossovers, Montana hasn't shown up again in the world of gamers, but the door is probably still open if some nostalgia-driven developer pitches the right people. That's wild, man. You know, so many games, throughout the history of game development that, we never saw, right? Like, never got to play or anything like that. Didn't even necessarily know were going to be coming to us because they never got to be released. Pretty wild. I don't think there's really a whole lot more to see in that article. I skimmed a bit of it though, so take a look if you're interested. I think there is a video in there that shows some of the screenshots and stuff. So, Netflix is adding critically acclaimed sci-fi game in July. We just read about this, okay? So I'm not going to read all of this again, but basically what we just read about was Into the Breach is getting what is it, the Advanced Edition? Is that what they're calling it? Yeah, Advanced Edition update, right? Meaning that Into the Breach is being added to mobile devices, right? So like Android, iOS, and it can be played on Netflix, right? As well as if you already own the game, you will automatically get the upgrade to the Enhanced Edition. Okay, we just read about it like 10 minutes ago, so. Did you, Pinky? Sick, dude. Nice. All right, dude. Great. Yeah. What I think I want to do, man, is turn it into like a some kind of animated emote for us, dude. Yeah. Yeah, like an animated emote for us would be cool, but I don't know how I want to animate it yet. We don't have enough animated emotes this time. I've got an idea for another one too. That'll be pretty easy, I think. But I thought maybe doing an animated one for that might work, but I don't know yet. That's awesome though, dude. Thank you. Sometimes those unreleased games are better left shelved. Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. It's just wild, that quite often we don't even know, until like years later that something like that was even being made, right? That's all I was getting at. I'm not saying that they should all be released or anything. Just the fact that quite often it's not until years and years and years. Fire burning? Maybe, dude. Maybe. Yeah, that might work. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to toy around with it, dude, and see. Yeah. Well, that's great, dude. Thank you. Um, I just find it wild that, because there are so many games that never see the light of day or in other words, never get released, right? Never get into our hands as gamers. And we don't even necessarily, especially like nowadays it's harder because nowadays we quite often know what's in development, right? It's a whole thing within the industry. It's harder nowadays for developers to not have information leaked about games. Whereas throughout the history of gaming before, it was like not as much of a thing for information to get released officially about games that were in development. So, we continually find out about these games that were like either just rumored or not officially, detailed as being in development. And then we find out later that like, it was being worked on for years and then got scrapped, and it's just like kind of wild. Not that it necessarily needed, I mean, quite often they get scrapped for good reason, right? But then just like that one, it got scrapped because Activision bought the studio. Activision said, we have too many open world games. You're done, right? You're going to work on some of our other stuff. So who knows? It could have been a good game. But Activision just said no. Who knows, man? But yeah, you're right, Fat Pat. Sometimes better left dead. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna hit on these real quick, and then we'll finish the news segment. Both of these are about the Steam sale right now that just have started up today. If you have anything else to add to the segment for today, let me know. All right. Again, I'm trying to make more of an effort at keeping the news segments concise and short. Really getting the good stuff out of these articles and not reading absolutely everything. That way we get the gist of the good information out of these articles and keep kind of cycling through here real quick. That way we can push to our gaming stuff and not drown everybody in just kind of monotonous blah blah stuff within these articles. So on that note, if you have anything else to add that I haven't gone over today, anything that you might be interested in bringing up that maybe we haven't hit on in previous news segments for the video gaming news industry, whatever, let me know. I'm gonna talk about these articles real quick, which just have to do with the Steam sale that's going on right now. And after we end the news segment, we will take a look at Steam real quick, and just before we start up our gaming segment, we'll take a look at all the games that are kind of showcased as being on sale and everything too. Okay. Massive Steam sale drops hit games to under $5. It's that time of year again. Valve is having another one of its huge genre sweeping sales that touches on games big and small, new and old. Went live on Thursday through July 7th. Yep. Plenty of hit games that some would consider must-plays have dropped down to lower than $5 during the sale. There are over 30,000 games that are currently on sale for less than $5 during the Steam Summer Sale. Listing them all wouldn't do much good here. Instead, you can find 10 games below that are priced at $5 or under on Steam that are worth a look if you haven't played them already or want them on a different platform. All right. RE4. Resident Evil 4 is $5 US. Portal, $2 US. Street Fighter 5, $5 US. Left 4 Dead 2, $2 US. And Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, just under $5 US. Fallout New Vegas, $3 US. Payday 2, highly recommend. This game is awesome. $1 US. Payday 2. That's awesome. At least whenever I stopped playing it, I mean, it's been years at this point, but the game was amazing whenever I played it. Black Desert, $1. The Sims 4, $5. The Forest, $5. I might be picking that up. So there you go. We'll take a look at the sale real quick, okay, guys? Highly rated Steam game, now free to keep for a very limited time. Game called Reventure. An 84 on Metacritic. Overwhelmingly positive Steam user review rating. 95% of over 6,000 user reviews. What is Reventure? Pull it up real quick so everybody can see it. It is not free anymore. There are only a certain number of copies, apparently, that were free. It's not free anymore. At least not for me, it's not. Showing $3.99 for me. 50% off still if you're interested in the game. But, wait, what? Oh, the free game doesn't come via Steam, but via Fanatical. Free Steam codes for a game called Reventure. Copy still available. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're out. Looks like they're out, guys. Feels bad. Okay. So nothing there. Almost, I guess. Almost. Rather than being made free for a set period of time, it's limited to a number of copies. Huh. That's weird. Anyways, well, we tried. We tried. So I think that'll do it for the news today. Yeah. So thanks to everybody who was part of this segment, who's always part of this community. You guys rock. And thank you for being here and just for being you. Yeah. We're going to work our way into our gaming segment, which will be day 5 of Planescape Torment. Before we get into that, and after we end the new segment officially here, we'll take a look at the Steam sale. That way everybody can get a good look at what kind of games are on sale. There's a lot, but we'll take a quick look. If you are viewing this video as a VOD on YouTube later, then and you're enjoying the content, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with us at 6 o'clock a.m. CST every single day, where we always start every single stream up with video gaming news. Okay. Also, if you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button and potentially leave me a comment and see if we can have a bit of a discussion regarding some of these topics we went over today. All right. Other than that, just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for June 25th edition of Video Gaming News. All right?